Hey guys, we are here with Jared Haibon, who you may know from Bachelor Nation. Let's see, Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelorette,
and Bachelor in Paradise again.
And Bachelor in Paradise again, and now the Bachelor channel on Bustle.
That's it.
So
this is the only reason. The only reason I went on the show was to be here.
Okay,
just to
perfect.
let you know.
I think that's a great reason to go on The Bachelor.
Yeah, me too.
Bachelorette. But we have a little game for Jared today. But before we get into it, it's a little mini rose ceremony. We're gonna, ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Tell us what you've been up to.
You still get to travel a lot with the show, which is pretty cool. And so, like, we had a viewing party in LA for Nick's season where a lot of people were out there. It was hosted by Sarah Heron because she started a charity called She Lift, which is awesome. It's for women with disabilities. And so we raised some money for that. And, twins were out there, Ashley was out there, Ben and Lauren was out there. So it's pretty cool. But for me, I'm back on Rhode Island, still kind of like projecting into the future, seeing what's next.
Sweet. So I take that you are still in contact with a lot of your Bachelor Nation pals.
Very much so. So two of my best friends from the show are Tanner and JJ. I talk to those guys like every day. We're in a group text with myself, JJ, Tanner, and Clint. And so I still talk to Ben Higgins a lot. Nick obviously is a good friend. His season's airing right now. And then Ashley I still talk to a lot. It's pretty cool. It's like a fraternity.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And since you know Nick so well, do you have a favorite for him this season? Like someone you're like, that's a good girl for you.
Vanessa.
Yeah?
Vanessa's by far my favorite. Did you see that date last night?
Oh, so good.
The chemistry between those two is unmeasurable. It's by far and away the best, I think, in the house.
Yeah. Is it weird for you to watch your friend like find love?
I think I've seen Nick on TV so many times. It's not really weird anymore. It's cool though. So I thought I was going to start being more separated away from the show because I thought it was going to be Luke being the next Bachelor.
Yeah.
And then I was on the After Paradise episode when they announced Nick, and so I was standing next to Ashley and Wells and Kayla, and we're just kind of standing there, and then Michelle's like, all right, here's our next Bachelor. And we're like, all right, here's Luke. And we turn around and Nick walks past me, and I'm like, Nick? Like, no, this is a joke. And then it was a cool night, and it was a great moment, and it just like made me even more invested in the show again.
Awesome.
So I was pretty excited.
Yeah. And you live tweeted last night, so maybe people can look forward to more thoughts.
Yeah, so I live
Twitter.
tweeted for the first time this episode because I did the FabFitFunBox Snapchat recap, and it's pretty awesome live tweeting the show. You guys are funny, and so especially after I had a couple glasses of wine.
The only way to do it.
It's obviously the only way to do it. It's the only way I can really watch the show. So
yeah, I mean, same. I need that wine to be.
You need the wine. Yes, I have a rose by my bed. It's great.
Okay, great. Well, speaking of roses, we're gonna have a little rose ceremony.
Perfect.
So basically, we have outlined some of the weirdest dates in Bachelor history. We've given them little short titles that all sort of explain a little bit further as we go along. But you're basically gonna give out 6 roses to dates that you would give your friend Nick. Keep in mind that none of these choices are good. So
interesting.
We'll do our best.
I wouldn't want to give Nick a good date.
Well, see, that's the fun part is now we have to. But
exactly.
But he won't actually have to do them. It's fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, Nick. All right. So maybe let's start with one that tell me one that you want to know more about.
I'd like to know more about the breast casting date.
Okay, so I remember this is from Jason Mesnick's season, which was Bachelor season 13. It's a group date where they participate in an event for breast cancer awareness. It's week 3, so it's kind of early. And the ladies cast their breasts and paint designs onto them for an auction.
Oh, okay.
Which is not what I thought it was.
That's not what I thought as well. I thought it was going to be like they were getting casted for something according to like a...
Like hand models, but like... Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
More... chest area.
It's more artistic than that.
I like that though. I like that. Yeah,
Do you want to give this one a rose?
No, I want to wait.
Okay, all right. I think that's fair.
All right, so I hand out my first rose right now?
Whenever you want.
All right. I think I want to hand out my first rose to the love and intimacy. The love and intimacy date.
Okay, well, just for those who don't remember what that is, that's from Chris Soule's Bachelor season. And this is a one-on-one date with Carly, who you may know from Carly and Evan, from Bachelor in Paradise.
My fave.
They're so great.
Amazing. Carly might be the funniest person I've ever met.
She's fantastic.
She's amazing. And Evan's the sweetest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
They're lovely. They also did this date. the pepper kiss date.
I was gonna, yeah, I vividly remember that. I will never forget when I heard that story for the first time when Carly got back. It might have been the best half hour of my life, just hearing Carly retell what happened the night before.
Yeah. Oh my God, that has to be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so the one we're giving a rose to is Love and Intimacy, which is Carly's date with Chris from season 19. They met with a love and intimacy mentor who used some pretty uncomfortable meditation techniques. They were basically like almost naked and like up against each other and like breathing.
Yes.
Like it was something else. But I think you learn a lot about somebody. So let's give that one a rose.
Yeah, and
do you want me to hold it and you can pin it?
Yes.
All right. This is not it. Where
I mean, we could do the lie detector one if you want. All right, so we're gonna do one right there.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna knock this over. I've been working out, you know.
All right, cool. I think we can leave it with just one.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. All right, so we've got one date for Nick. Now, are there any that you are unsure about, you need to learn more about?
Yeah, what's the smell science date?
Oh, my favorite. That is literally my favorite date. It's from Ben's season of The Bachelor.
Oh, yes. I do remember this date now.
Yeah. It's where Ben and the women go to Love Lab, where they scientifically test Ben's attraction to them based on their smell. I'm like getting like flabbergasted trying to say this.
Just thinking about, do you want Ben to smell you?
No, I don't want anyone to, like the idea that like someone would test your smell. Like poor Olivia was told she was sour.
I know.
Like say what you will about her, but like being told that, like
I know, it's bad.
It's
and
not,
I'm sure
no one
Olivia's
wants to say
not that sour.
No.
I've heard very good things about her.
No, she's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, if you weren't Team Olivia, that's still a horrible thing to happen to somebody.
I know.
So that
it is an interesting concept though to think
the
that
pheromones.
Like yeah, I think there is something to that a little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm being 100% honest, because like the person you spend with, like, this might be like a little bit too intimate, but don't you find that sometimes like like if you guys wake up and you kiss in the morning, sometimes it just like doesn't taste good, and then sometimes it's great, and I think there's something to that.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna give this one a rose.
Yeah, totally, because I just want Nick to smell his girls.
Great. These are all falling apart. All right, I'll just hold it there.
I'm gonna knock this board over again.
No, teamwork.
There it is.
There we go.
Perfect.
All right, what else do we have here?
Man, what?
We have this one that you were on.
Yes, I know. All right, I was gonna wait on that. So the Irish wake date. Yeah, that was the funeral where Caitlin was in the coffin, which was really morbid.
It was super weird.
When we walked in, it was a little odd because so we were walking down the street, and Ireland was beautiful, by the way. But we were walking down Ireland, and then Chris Harrison was there. He's like, "All right, Caitlin's dead." And we were like, "What?" And so then he obviously let us in. The whole idea was that an Irish wake is supposed to be like, you know, remembering this person for the life they lived and celebrating that life. So I understand it, but it was a little weird seeing Caitlin lying down in the coffin.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was still a fun date. And then we ended up going to the Guinness factory. And then I got the group date rose and got to see the Cranberries play.
Yeah. So this was a good date for you.
It was a good date.
Even though it was weird.
So I think I'm going to give Nick this date as well because it worked out pretty well for me.
I think, you know, you really learn a lot about how someone reacts to that sort of a thing.
Yes,
So
I agree.
Let's give that one. I'll hold this again.
Appreciate it.
Sweet. All right, so we have 3 roses left. Do you have any? Let's talk about some of the ones down here. So we've got the zombie killing date, which is oh wait, sorry, Martha has a question. Oh my gosh.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, what was your favorite date to go on?
Well, Martha. First of all, I love that name. I would say my favorite date to go on was probably. Man, that's tough. I think I have 2. I have the group date. My favorite group date was definitely the one that we just talked about, the Irish wake date, because that was awesome. But I think my favorite date that I went on was probably the New York date.
Yeah.
Because that was my first one-on-one with Caitlin. We had just a great time. They gave me like a brand new tux, and we were at the Met in New York City. And then we had just a really great night, and then we had the helicopter ride over New York City. So I think that was probably my favorite date.
Yeah. That's kind of that's a once in a lifetime experience.
It's once in a lifetime. I would say that. I mean, honestly, I got lucky. All my dates in Paradise, on The Bachelorette were pretty awesome. Yeah. And like I have fond memories for a lot of different reasons on each one of them. Great.
Well, and then you got to stay in Paradise for a while, which is always
And then I got
nice.
to, Paradise was great. Like my first date with Ashley, which was awesome. Like, because we're really good friends now, and I think that was like an interesting time because we were just getting to know each other, and like we found out that we get along famously, and so that date was just a really fun date. We got to drive the little 4-wheeler through the beach, and it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Shannon has a question. What was the worst date? Well, that's a natural follow-up.
God, the worst date.
It could be about the location and not the person.
Yeah, I don't wanna.
Or make anyone feel bad.
I know. Oof. That's a tough one. I'd say the worst date was probably, honestly, all my dates were pretty cool. I'd probably say the worst date was it's gonna sound bad, but it wasn't because of the company, but it was because of like my nerves going into it was a fantasy suite with Ashley.
Okay.
Because, it's obviously very well known that Ashley is a virgin, and I had no idea that this date was going to be an overnight date, and so I was just really nervous, and that was like that was the worst feeling going into a date. Yeah, because I was just like I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I don't want to do anything stupid on national television.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. It
wasn't because of Ashley.
Yeah, and then you guys are still friends, so obviously
of course,
not because of Ashley. All right. Well, let's get back to some weird dates. So let's talk about the growing old date, because I think that one's kind of cute.
Which one's this one?
So this is from Andy's season, and this is when Andy and JJ O'Brien, wore like prosthetic makeup to become like old people. So it was like they could see what it would be like if they grew old together, which is bonkers, but also kind of adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, let's give Nick that date.
All right, cool.
Because I'm sure he's going to want to see. Oh, God,
Nope.
we're dropping roses.
Technical difficulties,
I know.
guys.
I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
he's going to want to see what his future wife is like in 30 years. So
I mean, and she might want to know the same.
exactly
All
about
right,
Nick.
that works.
Even though it doesn't seem like Nick ages. So he
Yeah.
might look exactly the same 30 years from now.
Yeah.
That guy, because he's 36.
Yeah.
And he looks 25.
He does, yeah.
It's unbelievable. And he's a sexy 25-year-old for a guy. I could say that. I'm secure.
All right, cool.
But you know what I mean? But like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Sure. Yeah, of course. All right, what else do we have here? We have the lie detector date, which Nick actually went on.
Okay, yep. I remember that because the only reason I remember that is she had the results for Josh, I think it was, or somebody, or for final two, and she ripped them up at the Mentel or something like that.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Lie detector test. Here's the thing, Nick is very honest, and so I don't think he lies about much.
Yeah.
So
Well, the ladies would be taking the lie detector.
That's true. I think obviously honesty is a huge thing for Nick. So let's give that one to him as well.
Okay, cool. If I can get this out of here.
There it is.
All right, okay, we've got one more.
This is the only one that's staying upright.
Yeah, well, we've finally learned how to pin them correctly. So.
It took so long sometimes for Caitlin to pin them on our coats.
Well, yeah,
Because it's just
difficult.
it took 5 minutes each.
Yeah, and then they edit it down and it's like, boom.
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Like she just does it perfectly.
Exactly. All right. Okay. So we have to pick one more. Are there any that you're curious about, that you need to know more about?
I'm gonna say growing old. Oh. Okay, I know exactly what this one is.
Oh yeah,
this
that
is
one's
the
a bad
2-on-1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a 2-on-1.
Okay, so this one is Ashley and Kelsey.
Yes, and they got left in the desert on a bed for 10 minutes together, probably longer.
And that's when. Do you want to reenact it? No. Please tell me you know what line I'm talking about.
Oh my God, I forgot the line.
Oh my God. Well, I'll be Kelsey.
Okay.
And then you'll be Ashley.
Okay.
And so they were standing there in silence, and then Kelsey turned to Ashley and stared at her, and she said, "I know what you did."
Oh. Oh my God, yeah, and then they had to hash it out and stare at each other.
Yep, to this day, Ashley still says it's the scariest moment of her life.
I was scared for her.
I thought she was gonna die.
That was intense.
Yeah, that was one of the best dates I've ever seen in my entire life. And then Chris leaves them both there,
on
which is
opposite
amazing.
sides of the desert.
Yes,
Yeah.
He dumps Kelsey, and then he dumps Ashley, and then he flies off in a helicopter as they're just in the Badlands together alone.
Yeah.
So I think this is my final rose.
All right.
I think this is where my final rose is going.
I think for the drama, for those of us watching,
just because the
it's
sheer
worth it.
drama of this particular date was amazing, I want to see it played out again.
Amazing. I'm on board.
Perfect.
I think Nick can handle it.
I totally think Nick can handle it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for playing this little rose ceremony game with us. Do you have any final thoughts on Nick's season? Any well wishes?
Yeah, I mean, I wish Nick the best. I think he's going to be a great bachelor. I think the cool thing about Nick is the more that you've gotten to know him, the more you appreciate him. So I think you're only going to grow to love Nick more and more as the season goes on. So definitely stay tuned and see the drama that ensues.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by today. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Bye, guys.
Bye.